first thought was, do you remember? Do you remember that session when Ginger said you'll write a book? And I was amazed. And yeah, that's what she makes me proud today. That it was, she did it. And I'm very proud of Padmaja and to be her friend. Okay, let me ask a question to her. So, this would be, how do you think this this book will really give us the steps if we have to follow? I mean, what would be the first thing we should do? I know there are a lot of things we should meditate, we should do yoga, but what do you think the basic thing to build a balanced relationship?
It's a very good question, how to build a balanced relationship. Actually, it's like an everyday thing. It's not like, you just buy a book, read a book, and it's done. We have to do it on an everyday basis. One is first buy the book. Yeah. And also, I think to all of us, and I struggle every day to tell myself I can do this, or I have to, put my ego aside. I have to listen to other people. I have to really try my best to look beyond myself, to do, to improve myself. Get it? I have to look beyond myself to improve myself. So I have to do that. Coming to disciplining kids or getting along with the husband or talking with my father, or I have to look beyond myself. And also, which means that when I look beyond myself, it doesn't mean I'm sacrificing. I have to allot a certain amount of time for myself, for my personal development, and also understand, why am I feeling this? Why am I not able to understand somebody's point of view? Why am I having a problem with somebody's behavior? Or why am I not getting along with it? If you think about it, we can get along with anybody and everybody. And if you're not getting along, maybe we should give a break to that relationship, and maybe we should move on. It doesn't mean that we have to stay there, fight. And also there are so many relationships around. We can nurture some, we can grow with some, we can grow old with some, and we can let go of some. So the point is, we have to understand which one to let go. How will I know? Anything that is not helping you grow in the day, anything that is not giving you peace of mind, anything that is harassing you, it is giving you anxiety, it is giving you stress, which is not making you sleep, it's not worth it. And some relationship, like say with the husband or with the children, for example, big thing, with the children, you can let go of children. We are attached there forever. So how do you work it? And there are. Pardon me? Yes, definitely. Thank you. And with me, I have a teenager in the house. So now the teenager is ready to tell me lessons, and there comes a point that where I tell myself, that's okay. She knows better than you. Suck up your ego. Yeah, I have to really think that, okay, she knows more than me, or she knows better than me. Okay, gradually give that, responsibility to that relationship. And every relationship, don't take any relationship easily. Everything has to be worked upon. The minute you take a relationship easy, for granted, that is going to go down the drain. You have to work. When you work for a relationship, that means you care for that person. You care. The minute you take it easy, that person will not like it. He will recognize or she will recognize, and they will feel that you walked all over. So don't do that, And if there is a misunderstanding, I've learned this, Yes, you probably cry. Why is she doing this? Why did she not like my post on the Facebook? She's on the Facebook. I know she's on the Facebook, but she's not liking my post only. Why? Okay, if you have a problem, confront her. Hey, did you see my post? Do you like it? Put it in her face. Then she might, if she doesn't like it, maybe ask her, why do you have a problem? You don't like me? You don't have to hide anything from anybody. You just have to relax and be who you are. I think everybody can see that. Everybody can read people. So we have to be aware of that.
she talks to you. She is highly motivated, and it's contagious.
Congratulations, Padmaja.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you.
Yeah. I saw the contents. Still, I haven't gone through the book. Definitely, I'm going to buy. So, the chapter 3, emotional intelligence, that caught my eye. In fact, I have gone through one of the articles, and I shared with my son also. So, in fact, to be successful as a person, human being, emotional intelligence, not only in the career, I think that is, of course, we will know the book, but we would like to know from your voice, We would like to share with you.
That was Mr. Srinivas Gureti. He is one of the most awesomest volunteers that I have ever come across. And he volunteers tirelessly. He has volunteered for NSF, he has volunteered for many other organizations. He, Mr. Jayachandran, Dr. Jayachandran, all these people, they are some of the best volunteers that I have known.
I think good question, Gureti Garu, because emotions run us. Emotions run us. And emotional intelligence, forget about spatial intelligence, verbal intelligence, and analytical intelligence. We don't care about all that. You will get grades, you are here, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, you will make money, that's all good. But how good are you emotionally? These days, people don't care for other people. You walk into a shop or walk into a restaurant, they have like nonchalant expressions. Shrug your shoulders, frown your eyebrows, etc., etc. Emotional intelligence is when you understand what are the emotions that the other person is going through, trying to take it in and come up with an efficient, communicative, emotionally balanced answer to it. So you will be an emotionally intelligent person when you understand yourself, interpersonal intelligence, and also intrapersonal intelligence. That is the key now. You have to first be aware. What do you want? You need to find out what you want in life. Many people don't know. See, many of my students don't declare their major even though they're in the 4th year of college. I don't know. Undecided. Why are you undecided? Because it's like a McDonald's menu. We have so many things to choose from. I'm confused. And many people, even in our daily life, they're confused about to do what, where to go. So we have to be aware of what we want. Do I need to be in this group? Do I need to be with this friend? Do I need to be fighting this unending battle? So that is intrapersonal intelligence. And then the big one is, the first one was inter, now first one was intra, this one is inter. Inter meaning between people. So to understand inter-people intelligence or interpersonal intelligence, first I need to identify what is the emotion that the person in front of me is going through. If the person is angry, yelling, I have to calm down. He's obviously upset. So if I yell with the person, remotes are broken, vessels are broken, maybe, something bad is going to happen. But if the other person is yelling, you need to understand that that person is upset, obviously. So you need to calm down, take a step back. You need to analyze your own response to that person, your own emotion to the person, and then fit your emotion response to that person. Fit yourself into the picture. That is emotional intelligence. And this kind of emotional intelligence is very important no matter at home or at work. People think that they can take care of issues at work, but they're at home, they come and release their anger, release their emotions. It's not worth it. Who are you making? Those people are not going to even give you a promotion or a raise. Here your wife will cook and give you a meal. So you need to be in control of your emotions everywhere. Right? Did it make sense?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Just a small example from work actually. So we were just checking one patient and we wanted to do some urine test, and it was a small baby, 1 year old, and then my nurse was MA. We wanted her to help us. She did not help properly. Then I just told my colleagues that it was not done well and they did not help me. I couldn't go because that was a diagnostic test which I'm supposed to do to diagnose the kidney disease. That patient had a lot of only one time, two times we told her. And the way it turned out is, she gets upset. I don't want any more telling me back. Like, even if I'm wrong, we should not tell back. We at least cannot correct.
Correct.
So that is the problem sometimes we encounter even at work. And she left the job at 10 o'clock without even telling anything. So we couldn't do anything. We told her, don't worry. But some people, it's hard to manage also. She left the job, that's it. And she's a very good worker. So we wanted to call her back, but she said no. People are like that, we shouldn't call back. We can find somebody else, and we have to train somebody else for another 1 month. We had such a difficulty. Good people also sometimes that sudden emotional outbreak or whatever it is, it's hard to handle.
Right, exactly.
If they just leave, we don't have any control on anything. Even if you say sorry, they cannot understand.
Exactly.
They feel as if we are pressurizing them. And one instant, even though the income is low, even though there are 6 children in the house, if it was some other person, they would have thought, this is my mistake, I would have just thought back, I'm sorry. They would have told sorry.
Exactly.
Not in my position. So things, sometimes, it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of their attitude, we should say. Well, that's what it is.
Sundar, ready up? Yeah, you want to say something? Oh, she's asking a question.
So your chapter 7 is on cultural diversity, and living in like Farmington Hills, Novi especially, there are a lot of Indian people, or like we surround ourselves with a lot of Indian people. And to promote cultural diversity though, you need to break stereotypes. And as Indians, I know we have a couple of stereotypes. So how do you think we can break those and promote cultural diversity?
What a tough question. Yeah. I think what I tell my students is in diversity aspect is like in my classes, we come from different culture. Everybody has different culture, and obviously we know America is a part of different culture. And I think bottom line is you have to be proud of your culture, because that defines you. That is who you are. No matter whether you like it or not, this is the mom, this is the dad, this is the culture you're born in. So work on the positives. Work on the positives. Build on your strengths. There are so many positives of being in an Indian culture. Being like smart, being able to do math, being able to do, so many, like listening to mom and dad is one of them. So we have to build on the strengths and family support, social support, yes. And also the negative aspect is, not a lot of people outside don't know many of our negative aspects unless we tell them. Only thing they know is, and it is a misconception that our food stinks, our body stinks or whatever. It could be body stinks, I can't say anything. Food stinks, they don't know. It is like ignorance make them speak like that. We do make food which doesn't stink too. So which is like educate them. Tell them. Don't get upset just because they are upset. Tell them, not all my foods smell. Tomorrow I'll get a food which doesn't smell. You want to taste it? So and also you have to accept it. And stereotype, if your people are stereotyped, also understand that every culture is stereotyped. Everybody is stereotyped. And this is one example I'll tell you. In my class, this particular class, which is running this semester, I said, I was talking about discrimination, which is in terms of diversity and discrimination. I said, who are the persons who have gone through discrimination? Couple of them raised hands, where I can see some are Indian, some are, Middle Eastern. But there is one white male, and he is doing criminal justice. He's a police officer, and he's raised his hand. I said, come on, you're discriminated. I thought you were the best race that could be, a white male, and you're so sturdy, and you're a police officer. What do you mean you're discriminated against? Stop joking, I said, no, people hate us. People think that we are white, and we should be hated